Hello, everyone. Very good evening. Am I visible and audible to everyone here? Quick question in the chat box, visible and audible. Yes, in the chat box, if I am. Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me know. So, how are you guys doing? How is everyone here doing? Um, this is in context of after you learned a few things yesterday, and I'm sure that some of you would have at least started practicing some of those. How has it been after that? How about your sleep? How was your how was your day been? Much better today. Okay, acidity reduced a lot. Ordered Triphala. Wow, great. What else? Tea helped you a lot and did foot massage. Oh, plaster and leg. I'm sure that it'll come off in a few days. Burps reduced, improving, great. Acidity and everything is gone. Okay, good sleep, felt active, ordered Triphala. I ordered scrub, very good. Stomach is light. Wow, that's good. Okay. Placed order for Triflan massage. Tea made more. Don't boil as much as you are doing it right now. Okay, stomach is super. All right. Good to see that. Super. Thank you for letting me know. It's going good, really good. All right. So, what is today called? What is today called? Wednesday, I agree. But then, apart from that, okay, GQ day, good going. So, like I would ask every day, would you all be able to turn on your cameras, please? I would love to see you all. Because as I mentioned on day one, this is not only something that you would learn from my voice, but there's a lot that we'll learn otherwise. How many of you here feel that somehow there is a shift in the way you feel about health? And that's not something that I've taught, probably, or that I've explained. Little more than that. What else? I might not have come up here and told you that you need to smile or that. No, I didn't tell you that. How many of you are seeing that you're smiling better? Type smile in the chat box. If you feel that you're smiling more than what you would usually do. Wow, that is good. That's so good. Good to hear that. Good. And that's because you're mirroring. You danced today. Wow, Shubhada, that's amazing. Smiling right now and feel good. Wow, that's good. Definitely less lethargic. Good. Very good. Also prioritize resting today. Very good. Good work. Okay, so let me give you a very quick tip. Don't ask me why, but it works. Okay? Even I haven't gone into it, trying to discover why it happened, but then believe me, this works. Okay? If anybody of you wants to see, okay, so anybody who joined in earlier getting this, if you feel like you want to take a rest in the afternoon, how many of you feel that there's a need to take some rest in the afternoon? Okay, if you don't ask me why, okay, I'm not going to answer the why question, just do it, it'll help you. Okay, now if you're able to take a nap, a short nap between 2:30 and 3:15 in the afternoon, you will see that you'll get maximum rest. Okay, don't ask me why. No whys. Okay, between 2:30 and 3:15 in the afternoon. Right? If you take half an hour, say not even half an hour, 20 minutes nap in between, in that 40 minutes you take a 20-minute nap somewhere, it's going to tremendously help you. Okay, so not asking you to sleep in the afternoon, but then it works. Okay, so on day one, remember I told you that there'll be about 250 odd people on day 5. We are on day 3, and look at the number of participants. What I'm trying to tell you here is, you guys are really really good. I mean, you guys are committed to the process, right? And I'm so happy to see you all here. Thank you very much. Right. So let's begin the GQ day without any further. It's long. Okay. So I want all of you to grab a a bottle of water today, if you haven't yet, because you will need it. So let's go. This is what is going to happen today. Okay. You're going to realize how we are. So the talks quiz and what is the relevance of it. I'll explain how we are being programmed, and also you will be informed of a task on Prakriti, and I'll give you a few instructions, basic instructions for that. And also we'll do the life points breathwork. How many of you want to become the most rested version of you in under 2 minutes? Me in the chat box, if that is you, you want to become the most restful version of you in under 2 minutes. That's something that we're going to practice today. Okay, under 2 minutes. Let's go. Now, tomorrow is a live only program. Tomorrow is a live only program. Yes, thank you very much. If that is clear, type live in the chat box if that is clear, that tomorrow is a live only program. Good, thank you. Now, how toxic are you? Let me know in the chat box whether you have optimal, mild, moderate, or severe toxicity. Optimal, mild, moderate, or severe. Live only means there is no recordings. Okay, severe, mild, moderate. Okay. Now, what you see, okay, what you see as the talk score. Okay, I'll explain what that really means. But what it means is the level at which there are functional imbalances in your system. Okay, is that clear? So do you have, I'm not saying that you'll have optimal imbalance. No, optimal means it's okay. Mild means there is a mild imbalance. Moderate means there is a moderate imbalance. And if it is severe, it means there is a severe imbalance. Now, when it is severe, I'll explain how to understand that as well. When it is moderate, mild is okay, moderate or severe, it is known to lead from anything as simple as allergies to something as grave as a lot of metabolic problems that you can have. And what I mean by metabolic problems is, if you can check for a paper, there's a very famous research paper which is called the Metabolic Theory of Cancer. It is very well mentioned that even cancer is a metabolic error, and it can be made better by focusing on your metabolism. That's the power of it. Have you heard of a lot of people who have defeated cancer with diet, with yoga, with so many other things that usually come out? You'd have heard of a lot of stories that happen. The reason why is their focus shifts onto metabolism. Their body shifts its focus over to metabolism. That's why it happens. So since I've set the context for you here, I would like you to just try to understand this question and give me an answer upon your understanding. Are we what we eat, or are we what we digest? Don't give me both. This is not Indian politics. You need to have a stand. Okay, please have a stand. अब दोनों पार्टी में नहीं जा सकते एक साथ. You can't be in both party at the same time. Okay. You are what we eat, digest, lot of, okay. Just give me a moment. Okay. Eat, digest, lot of opinions. Now, let me just ask you this question. Okay? Let's say that you have a plate of meal, like I mentioned in day one, you have a plate of meal in front of you, but somehow some part of it doesn't suit your body type. And when you eat that, it doesn't contribute. So even if you eat those nutrient dense foods, it is rich in nutrients, what you're eating. But if you cannot eat that nutrient dense food, if it doesn't digest for you, is it of any use? Yes or no? If it doesn't digest for you, is it of any use? Now tell me, are we what we eat or are we what we digest? Are we what we eat or are we what we digest? Exactly. We are what we digest. Irrespective of what you eat, if even one portion of it is not digestible, it doesn't contribute. So we need to know what suits us in terms of digestion. What we need to assess is our digestive capabilities, not the volume that we can accommodate, right? We need to think in terms of the digestive capabilities that we have, especially when it comes to what type digests. All right. Thank you. Now, we are what we digest. Type clear in the chat box if this part is very, very clear. Amol, that's for a very, very different reason. I'll tell you, I'll explain that later. So, clear. All right, thank you. Now, this is how your digestive system looks. Okay, I'm going to give a quick walkthrough of the digestive system. You can see this. Your food starts its journey in the mouth. It goes through a long tube, which is called the esophagus. Now it goes to the stomach, where there is mechanical mixing of food. From there, the food reaches the small intestine. From the small intestine, it reaches the large intestine. And then whatever remains, we poop it off. Okay. This is how your whole system is. Now, I would like to bring your attention to this part of your gut. This is your gut. Okay. Your entire digestive system is your gut. So when you come to this part of the gut, which is especially the small intestine is the place where a very important event happens in your digestion. And that event is called the absorption. Because you eat, you break it down, and then you absorb those nutrients. That is why you're able to use it. Okay. Now, this absorption becomes possible because of these structures. There are very small microscopic structures inside your small intestine, and they are called, anybody, any guesses? What are these called? What are these small? Yes, exactly. They're called the villi or the microvilli. Microvilli means they're microscopic in structure. They're very, very small. Okay, they're very small, and there are millions of them. There are millions of them, and because of that, we are able to absorb the nutrients from our food. So would I be right if I say that the villi are one of the most important parts of your digestive system? Yes, in the chat box, if that is clear, that the villi are the most important part of your digestive system. Excellent. Now, when you move further from here, you will reach the large intestine. And the large intestine hosts a lot of bacteria. And these bacteria are of many different types, about 300 to 500 different varieties of them. And they perform very, very important tasks. They synthesize a lot of vitamins. They also break down some parts of your food so that it is accessible to us. So there are many diverse and very important things that the bacteria does. And how many of you have read or seen There's a lot of importance going towards gut bacteria these days. Have you seen that? It's called the gut microbiota, and there's a lot of importance being given to that. Now, this importance was given a very long time ago by Ayurveda. They never said that there are bacteria in your gut, but they understood that the gut in one person is very different from the other person. And now research has proven that it is because of these gut bacteria, the diversity in the gut bacteria, that causes one gut to behave in a certain way and the second gut to behave in a very different way. Now, somebody earlier asked me this question. My friend eats everything and he has no problem, but I eat very limited, but I still have problem. The reason is your gut microbiomes are not healthy enough. That is the reason why. Okay. Now, if all these things are working well, let us assume that all these parts are working well. If all these are working well, okay, Karthik, all right, great. I saw that earlier. Now, right, strong digestion is when you are able to extract nutrients from food. When all the nutrients are extracted well from the food, it will fuel all your activities. That the activities are, your activities have enough energy to carry that. It builds and repairs your body. You're able to build your body and repair your body. You're able to remove toxins, and you're also able to keep your brain energized. Would I be right if I say that your brain is energized when your gut is healthy? Have you felt that? I felt in the chat box if you have felt that when your brain is energized, that is when your gut is healthy. When it is not, you feel the opposite. Now, would I be right if I say that one of the most important skills that you would like to learn from this workshop is how to have that peaceful gut, so that you can have a peaceful brain, so that you can perform better, so that you can have better relationships, so that you can be, Superman or Superwoman. And being a Superman or Superwoman starts in your gut. Right? Being a superhuman starts in your gut. All right. Now, if you have a weak digestion, it will lead to accumulation of toxin. You will see that there is tissue inflammation from brain to toe. No worries, Shikha. I'm coming to it. Okay. I'll make that very clear to you. Don't worry. There'll be inflammation from brain to toe, and it is a precursor. Precursor means this is what leads to all chronic diseases. Now, let me explain. How many of you here have arthritis, any autoimmune conditions, let's say anxiety, depression, anything of that, anything of that sort, anything that has been there for a long time with you? Ankle losing spondylitis, migraine, cervical spondylosis. I've seen my guru, one of my gurus, his name is Vaidyabhushanam Raghavan Tirumulpad. He used to treat migraines by just focusing on the gut. The same thing we also do today. We just focus on the gut. So all these, what you're saying here, everything, they started because there was something wrong with your gut. And how many of you here are starting to understand the connection between the problems, the chronic problems you have, and your gut, thanks to your Tox score? Me in the chat box, if that is you. You're able to connect this. You're able to understand why this is happening to you. That is very important. Now you know why it is happening to you. Correct? Now, let's go further. Now let us bring our attention to this part of your intestine. Now, when the microvilli, you can see that the microvilli are microscopic or very small in structure. Okay. Now, there are toxins that are there in your digestive system. Let us assume that the liver was not able to manage some of these toxins and they have reached your small intestine. And we are not talking about laddus or jalebis here. We are talking about toxins. right? They can be harmful. And what do you think will happen to the villi when these toxins come in connect with the villi? What do you think will happen to them? What do you think can happen to them? They die, they get destroyed, they get damaged. And this can lead to a condition which is called the leaky gut. This can lead to a condition which is called the leaky gut. Now, this is how your gut would look if it is inflamed. I'm talking about moderate, okay? This is moderate. This is not even severe. I did not put up a severely inflamed gut here because I didn't want to scare you. Right? This is how a moderately inflamed gut would look like. You don't want to know how severe it can get. Now, anybody here with IBD, inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's, ulcerative colitis? Right. So if IBS is still okay. It's a functional problem. It's not a structural problem. So that's still okay. That can lead to ulcerative colitis and stuff later on, but not in the beginning. So here you can see that there is a lot of inflammation. Karthik, the entire digestive system. So you can see that what you're trying to do is moving from here to here. How do you want your gut to look like? Now you tell me. How you want your gut to look like? The right or the left? The right or the left? The right or the left? The right is healthy, okay? Don't tell me that somebody wants to look like the left. The right one is healthy. The left one is inflamed. Okay, now, if you were given a chance to shift this from right to left, from left to right, what would it mean to you? I'd like to know, what would that mean to you? Because you know what it really feels like today by having an inflamed gut. Right? So it's very, very important for us to move to this. Right? It's extremely important. Now, this is what happens, okay? Before I go here, let me clarify a few things. Now, type in the chat box if your TOC score is between 0 and 40. Type your TOC score in the chat box if your TOC score is between 0 and 40. शून्य और 40 के बीच में. So, okay, 35, 40, good. 39, 35, good. All right, 19, 28, 36, good. Now, you guys are relatively safe. Okay, relatively, not saying that you're absolutely safe. You're relatively safe, but if you are inching towards 40, it means there is a good chance that the inflammation is developing. Now, type in your TOC score if it is between 40 and 80. Between 40 and 80. 40 और 80 के बीच में अगर आपका TOC score हो तो आप अभी वो chat box में please डाल. If it is between 40 and 80. All right, good. Now, I'll come to that, Ruchika. Hold on. Now, this means that your gut has started getting inflamed. And inflammation is the starting point of anything from diabetes to the grave disease. And it can not only manifest in your stomach, but it can manifest in other areas of your body as well, which is what you're seeing as many of the major or many of the diseases that you have today in different parts of your body. Now, that is between 40 and 80. Now, why am I telling you this is because how many of you here feel that there is not enough focus on the digestive system because of our busy life? Type me in the chat box that there is not a lot of focus given there. And there are not a lot of people talking about it even, that there needs to be focus on that. Right? So, yes. Now, if it is between 40 and 80, you need to take care. It's not an option. You need to take care. Now, if it is between 80 and 100, Let me know in the chat box if it is between 80 and 100. All right. This is the more severe category, wherein the inflammation is on, and there is a very good chance that many of the disease processes are already in place. It will take your conscious effort to bring that back. How many of you here are committed to bringing that back? If it is 80, between 80 and 100, you're committed to bringing that back. And it would become difficult as you go forward to manage it. I'll just give you a simple example. It's easier to lose 2 kilos than 20 kilos. Simple example. When it starts, you take care of it. Otherwise, it becomes a very difficult task later on. So you take care of it right now. If it is above 100, let me know in the chat box. I've seen as much as 270. Right. Okay. It is between above 100. Now, all of you who have your tox scores above 80, how many of you here have felt that you find it very difficult to take decisions? Me in the chat box, if you have felt that decision making is an extremely difficult job, and once you make decision, there is a very fair chance that many times it goes wrong. And you have to go through that pain again of doing that all over again. How many of you felt that? Now, if your decision making is flawed, what is the repercussion that can have in your life? If your decision making is flawed for some reason, what is the repercussion that can have on your life? Tension. All right. Accidents. All right. What else? Struggle. Loss of opportunity, depression. And now tell me, what does that cost you? What does that cost you? Financial loss. Death is probably the end. My career, loss of emotional capital. Okay. Time loss, a good life. All right, great. Now, good that you're able to understand this. Okay. Now, know that when we have a high tox score, we find it very difficult to make decisions. So would I be right if I say that if your tox score improves and your inflammation reduces, you'll be able to make better decisions? Yes, in the chat box, if that is true. Yes. Once that happens, you would definitely be able to improve in all the other areas of your life. Would I be right if I say that? Not only health, but other areas, that the ripple effect that it can have on the other areas is like great. So always remember, your focus is all about bringing down your tox score. You want to bring that down in 1 year? Do you want to do that in 1 year? Is it in 1 year, or you want to bring that down even before that? Is it ASAP? Is it now or after 1 year? Brilliant. Great. As soon as possible. Excellent. Now, since this is very clear, now let me tell you what exactly is going on inside you. Okay. Oh, it's taking some time to load. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. For some reason. Okay, are you able to see this? Is it hazy? Okay, I really hope that this, just give me a moment. You stop the share and bring it back. It happens at times. Now, all these are human made, right? So it is bound to have troubles. Okay, it's not coming in. So, okay. So like, are you able to like make out what this is? I'll quickly explain what it is. You don't have to read anything because I'll be telling you what it is. Manageable. Okay. Now, this is your small intestine. You take a small piece out of this and you put it under a microscope. This is how it will look. So this is a normal villi. Okay? These are normal villi. There is no problem. These are toxins, bacteria and stuff. Okay, these dots that you see. I'm very sorry for the way this is looking here. Now, once this happens, that there are, undigested food particles, toxins and all that, it cannot penetrate here because the junction is very tight. Can you see that? Type in the chat box if you're clear that the junction is very tight, because of which nothing is going down. But here it is not tight. There is a gap, there is a leak. And as your tox score increases, the number of leaks also increase. Right? The number of places where the gut is exposed also increases. Because of that, these undigested food particles, toxins and bacteria are able to pass right through them. And when it passes right through them and it reaches your blood, which system is activated? When a foreign body reaches your system, which system gets activated? The immune system gets activated. And when the immune system gets activated over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, am I right if I say that they become tired after a while? When it hits fatigue, it is not able to understand which is the bacteria or toxin and which is your normal healthy blood tissue, or normal healthy body tissue. And it starts attacking any organ that it can come in contact with. And when it starts attacking any organ that it comes in contact with, this is the time that you develop something which is called autoimmune diseases. Anybody here has any of those? But if your tox score is high, let me tell you this. While I was studying in college, there were about 100 odd autoimmune diseases. Now the count is 180. The count is increasing every single year. There are new diseases that are coming up. We have no idea how to control them. Modern medicine has no clue what to do about it. They just give immunosuppressants. But do you think immunosuppressants are the answer to it? Where you suppress your immune system so that you expose yourself to everything else in the world. And how many of you here are able to see that by plugging the leak in your gut, you might be able to come out of this? Yes, in the chat box, if that is you. That by plugging the leak in your gut, you will be able to come out of this. And by bringing down your tox score, you will be able to come out of this. Because that is the root cause. And that is exactly what you are targeting here. Right? Brilliant. Now, why am I bringing in so much energy here in this part is because in 2020, this was in December 2020, and my sister Saumya, she's my cousin, but like we are very close, we're very, very close. And she would call me Bhaiya, right? So, and she would reach anywhere where I'm traveling. For example, me and Lakshmi, we have been across India, and she would come anywhere where we would go. And it so happened that it was her house. Her mother had bought a new house near to our place, and we went there for the housewarming. And I'm seeing her after 8 months. And when I saw her after 8 months, me and Lakshmi knew that there was something wrong with her, that we could not explain what that was, but we intuitively knew. We looked at each other, we intuitively knew that there is something wrong with her. And when we checked with her mother, she said that she has been having these reddish spots on her skin from time to time, which there was not a lot of explanation as to why it was happening. And her skin has become a little bit dark. She has lost weight. Now, what we did is we knew that there was something wrong. And in the afternoon, after she had her lunch, she started spiking a fever. Now, when this happened, we took her to the nearby hospital, and the doctor there said that there is something wrong. We need to get her admitted. And by the time It was the next day morning. The report that we got was her lungs were filled with fluid. And her lungs will fill with fluid, and they asked us to take her to a higher center. By the time we went to a higher center, there was only 5% of her lungs that was left, where there was no fluid, which led to her kidneys getting shot. We lost her kidneys, and the next day her brain functions reduced, and we lost her in 5 days. She had an underlying autoimmune condition, which we did not know of. She was 23 when she died. And this was because there was an autoimmune condition that was undiagnosed. We had no idea what was happening. And because of that, we got to know, like, we talked to her mother. When we talked to her mother, we understood that her lifestyle had changed recently during COVID because we were in touch. But what happened before that is something that led to what she experienced. And we were the last people to be there with her because her mother was also admitted. And this was post-COVID. This was a sequelae of COVID that she had. Because of the fact that she had an autoimmune condition, her body was not able to take it at all. And if your tox scores are high, this is what I'm coming to, right? For us, it took us some time to get over it, yes. But then for us, me and Lakshmi, we made it a mission that we take this to the world. Her story is something that might inspire you to take action. For how many of you here, it has just become the most important part of your life, that getting your tox scores down, making sure that your gut is not inflamed, has become the top priority for you. Because it is not only us that gets affected in the process, our family also gets affected in the process. It can lead, this leaky gut syndrome can lead to any of these problems. It can be autoimmune problems with different organs, including thyroid. It can affect your joints, which is called rheumatoid arthritis. I'm not saying that autism is an autoimmune disease, but then for children who have autism, it starts in their gut. Depression, right? Depression also is something that starts in the gut. Your low performance, your irritability in relationships, your thought processes, the way you would interact with people, the way you would approach problems, the way you would take decisions, all these are inspired. It's all starts in the gut, right? Now, let's come to the more interesting part. Okay. This is about the gut brain. How many of you here have felt that when you see someone, and this might be in the past or in the present for some, there are butterflies in your stomach, or when you talk to someone that there were butterflies in the stomach, you have this beautiful feeling inside you. Now, that happens, yes, that's a gut feeling, and that happens because there is a brain in your gut, and it's not a small one. It's got about 500 to 600 million neurons. It's not a small one, and it is present through the entire cross section of your gut. From top to bottom, you have this. From top to bottom, you have this. It is present in each and every part of your gut. I want all of you to turn your webcams on, please. Right? So there is a second brain in your gut. You have a second brain in your gut. Now, so this understanding of the second brain is so important. Why? Because you've all understood that there are bacteria in your gut, and your focus is right now on ending the inflammation in your gut. That is also very clear. You have the bacteria in your gut, and when these bacteria, they are very required, and when they interact, these are in very close interaction with the gut brain that you have, these bacteria. And would I be right if I say that if the bacteria are happy, your gut brain would also be happy? Is there a fair chance that when your bacteria is happy, they're sending the right signals? Your gut brain would also be happy. When your gut brain is happy, your main brain would also be happy. Okay, so it's almost 40 minutes. I just want you to, stretch yourself and shake yourself up. I can see that some of you are like, oh my God, this is going over my head. Where do I account for all this? I've not heard of all this. Now, what do I do? It's all of a sudden. So just shake yourself up. It'll help you. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Some of you are in deep thought. I'm wondering why. All right. Right. It's, if it's the story that I told you, it's okay. You know what? For us, each and every person in this life is a lesson to be learned. It's about how we get inspired from that is what matters. It really matters as to how it inspires us, how it creates a shift inside us so that we are able to take action. That's the most important thing to have from that. Yes, it was a loss for us, but it can definitely be an inspiration for me to take action, right? I would like to thank her because she went giving us a lot of lessons in life. The only thing that she asked us to do was, this is happily okay, what I'm saying right now. She asked us to take care of her mother. And that is something that we do even to the day. It is we that take her to the hospital whenever there is a need. Me and Lakshmi, we take care of her, right? So that's something that we just got another mother, all right? We have two at home and another one was she. So that's okay. That's how life is. Life teaches us a lot of lessons. Now, what I'm trying to tell you here is the bacteria need to send the right signals to the gut brain. And when the gut brain gets the right signals, it sends right signals to the main brain. And when the main brain gets the right signals, you feel happy, you feel more productive, you feel more confident, you feel more, wow, I'm on the top of the world. All these feelings come because your bacteria are sending the right signals. Now, how to make the bacteria happy? If that's a question that you're thinking, I've got the answer for you. There was a research that was conducted a little while ago. And in that research, it was conducted by a panel of both Ayurveda and modern doctors, also a few people from microbiology and all those areas. What they did is they did a study on people with different prakritis. You've heard prakritis, right? Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. I'll explain more about that tomorrow. So different people from different prakritis. So they found out that Vata has a different set of unique bacteria. Pitta has a different set of unique bacteria, and Kapha has a different set of unique bacteria, which helps them become more healthy. And when there are the right set of bacteria according to your body type, would I be right if I say that only if you have the right set of bacteria will you be happy? Yes, in the chat box, if that is true. You having your specific type of bacteria is what you need. And that can happen when you have food habits according to your body type. That's something that I'm going to explain tomorrow. That is why tomorrow's session is so very important. And the concepts that I teach you is so very important there. All right. Now, one more question I have for you here. Okay, let's keep that for later then. Now, the enteric nervous system, okay, aka the gut brain, 200 to 600 million neurons. And this is why you feel the way you feel when your gut is right, and when your gut is not right, you don't feel it that way. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say anything. I would like to know your feelings. I can see a lot of smiles. I can see a lot of excitement as well. I can see all 32 teeth in some, but yeah. So all these are there, yeah. Battisi unit as it's called, right? So All right. I just had gulab jamun. What about this? I'm going to turn on the heat a little bit. Okay. Now, the best part is there were a lot of people here till now who weren't smiling. And I could just see that there are a lot of people who have started smiling at this. Right? Great. How about this one? All right. All right. Now, what is that feeling that you just had? What is that feeling that you just had? What is it called? Mouth watering, tempting, satisfaction. What is that feeling? Yes, craving. What you had is craving. And craving is something which is called a neuroadaptation. I'm going to take 10 minutes extra today. Is that okay? Okay in the chat box if that is okay. Wednesdays, it goes a little overboard. So do that to this. Okay. So what we have here is something which is called a neuroadaptation. Okay. Neuroadaptation is a very important concept to understand because I'll keep it as fast as possible, Snima, so that I finish off the crux of it before 8:30. Now, neuroadaptation is your brain's amazing ability to adapt. And it is a potential that your system has. Okay. It is a neuroadaptation. It's your brain's amazing ability to adapt. And whatever you give it, it'll adapt. You give it the good, it'll adapt. You give it the crap, it'll adapt. You give it anything, it'll adapt. So it is up to us what we give. Depending on what we give, it'll adapt. You give it the good stuff, it'll adapt. You give it the bad stuff, it'll adapt. So it is up to us. And now, this is one ability of your brain that is being exploited by the food industry because they are habituating you with all the crap. Anybody remember the tagline for Lay's? Lay's ka tagline. No one can eat just one. How about Alpenlibe? Jila chai, that one, remember? So, all these are kind of making us, isme kya hai? What is it that this has? No, we are becoming so engrossed in having that, want to have that when we end up having that, it has got all the ingredients to make you dependent and hooked on it for the rest of your life. And it doesn't stop with one chip. It doesn't stop with one packet. It doesn't stop with one carton. It doesn't stop with one container. It goes on and on and on. We want to have more and more. And this is what leads to what it is today. You know what? Children today, how many of you feel this? That children today have started negotiating on Lays and Kurkure and, lollipops, chocolates. ये मुझे करना है तो वो मुझे दो. If I have to do this, give me that. It has gone to a level where we are losing control. And believe me when I tell you, when you're trying to correct the child's behavior at the surface, it's not even going to scratch the surface because the problem is not at the surface. The problem is deep down. The problem is in the gut. Unless and until we change our habits and we show that to the child, how would the child know that this is something that they need to change? There was a small demo class going on for my kid, who she's 6 years old, Ritu, and there was a demo class going on for some. It was an online learning platform, and while she was doing that, there were 4 options that she had to choose from. She's 6 years old. Okay. She had to choose from 4 options, the odd one out. Okay. So there were 4 options. One is, what is that? Apple, orange, watermelon, and burger. Now the person asked, choose the odd one out. I think what he expected, and I think to a certain extent, what we expected was there are 3 fruits and burger is not a fruit. What she said is burger. Now the person asked, why burger? So she said, it's unhealthy. No? So, and she was asked, who told you this? She said, my mother told me that because I've not seen her eat one. So, which means she related that it's not something that's healthy because her mother doesn't have it. So, would I be right if I say that there is no better school for our children and the next generation than us? And unless and until we learn and we inculcate and we are able to become examples for them, there is no way that we can save them. And how many of you here are ready to become that example for your child that doesn't waver when it comes to taking the right decision, when it comes to eating healthy, when it comes to staying healthy, and would put in all the effort to make sure that you learn the skills that your child is able to mirror or your next generation is able to mirror? For how many of you, this gut reset workshop has just become more than just you? It has become for your family as well. Thank you very much. So if I'm able to create that small shift in you, this workshop has, has just been successful. Thank you. Now, now what we're going to do is write this, right? Open page number, quickly write this, page number 28, and write this down. You got 20 seconds. Bad gut habits. The programming that you're going through leads to bad gut habits. It transforms your gut habits into the bad side, in the evil side, I would say, not even bad. Okay. So this is bad gut habits that leads to a leaky gut. Bad gut habits lead to a leaky gut, and a leaky gut leads to high tox score and autoimmunity. Type clear in the chat box if this is clear. Somebody mentioned that it's difficult to influence teenagers. Yes, it is, but they are also the most smartest. Okay, they're also in their most smartest age. They learn. There is peer pressure, but they learn. So just set the right example and do nothing else for now. Just, it's, yeah, Shashi, that's also good, They try to teach you, yes, why not? It's good to listen to them if they have a point. There's nothing wrong. All right, now, the only way that we can come out of it is to readapt. The only way to come out of this is to, we don't need to know bad gut habits. Focus on the good, my friend Sharath. There is so many bad gut habits that you can have, but if we keep focusing on that, we'll be lost. That is why there are so many YouTube videos that explain this is bad, that is bad. That's why they have got million views, because we are looking for all the bad stuff and we have quit focusing on the good. So please do focus on the good for now. Okay. And that's something that you learned yesterday. How many of you learned the habits for the 5 elements yesterday, except one, the first one? How many of you learned the habits for the 4 elements? Practicing that is where you start. Now, how many of you here feel that these are habits that you want to perfect? These are habits that you want to perfect. Brilliant. That's the way to go. Now, if you want to re-adapt, there is an adaptation that was found by the industry. If you want to readapt, all you have to do is to start healing your gut. And when you perfect these, when you're able to perfect these, you will see that just doing these perfectly and also making that a part of your life unconsciously, you make that unconscious, an activity that is unconscious, your gut would improve leaps and bounds as compared to small steps, right? Let's go further. Now I'll be going at, I might not be taking a look at the chat box. So just catch up with me. Okay. I'm sure that I've primed you enough to make sure that you catch up with me quite quick. Okay. So let's go. Now, this is something, if you're doing this, please stop it, which is drinking cold water. Never do it. It is killing your digestion. It is practically killing your digestion. And it is always important that you have warm water. Irrespective of the season, have warm water. Because it kindles your digestive fire. If you put the cold water, you're just killing it. Matka water also do. Okay? Now the detox tea is something that opens up. And remember this. This is something that my guru told me, which has become so relevant in today's world. He told this to me at least 15 years ago. First year of college. So at that time, we didn't understand much. But today it's very, very relevant for us. And this is something that I tell every batch that comes. Even one drop. Okay. Now, again, this is something that I would ask you not to ask me why. Just practice, it will help you. Like I said earlier, no, there was something that I told earlier, don't ask me why. Similarly, don't ask me why it works. And this has been my experience with over 30,000 people, so you can trust. Right? Even one drop of unboiled water, if you want to write it down, even one drop of unboiled water can trigger an underlying inflammation. Even one drop of unboiled water can trigger an underlying inflammation. So if you don't want your inflammations to get triggered, if your tox scores are already high, don't even think about having unboiled water. Not from a bottle, not from anywhere else. Do not have any unboiled. Vaishali, does the RO boil the water? No, it never boils water. So that just do it. It will help you tremendously. All right. So detox tea is something that can open up your clogged channels. There are a lot of digestive channels that are completely clogged. The detox tea is perfect to help you do that. Okay. Now, any water, take it, boil it, then cool. Yes. Boil for 5 minutes. That is more than sufficient. 5 minutes chalega on a low flame, 5 minutes. Enclose the water if you want to. Okay. Now, you know that there are a lot of toxins inside your body. How are they lost? How do you lose them? How does that go out of the body? What is the route through which it goes out of the body? What do you think is the route through which way does it go? Sweat, skin, stool, sweat. Okay. Let us understand what happens. Okay. Now, you know, on day one, we said that the toxins are stored inside fat. Okay. Everybody remember that the liver stores it in fat. Correct? Now, a fat molecule contains the following, which is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. I'm going to do a little bit of chemistry. Please bear with me. Okay? Chemistry was not my strong point, but I think this is very relevant today. Now, it has 3 components and only 3 components, which is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Only if we are able to break fat will we be able to take these toxins out. In order to take these toxins out, first we need to break the fat. So the fat molecule contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And what happens during metabolism is that this carbon, hydrogen, oxygen compound breaks down into carbon dioxide and water. Okay, it breaks down into carbon dioxide and water. This is what happens. Now, if 10 kilogram of fat gets broken down, it converts into 8.4 kilograms of carbon dioxide and 1.6 kilograms of water. Now, tell me, how is fat lost from your body majorly? What is the route through which the fat is lost from your body majorly? Breath. Not sweat, my friend. Not exercise, my friend. You breathe during exercise. That is why you lose it. Those are all that thing happen later. Kashish. Calorie deficit is already a failed science. I'm not saying that it's not working, but then it's not as efficient as this understanding that was given by a scientist. His name is Ruben Miran. And this is why each and every one of our practices in the past have got a breathing practice associated with it. Why? The whole practice where we teach yoga, by the way. And the way we teach yoga is to align your asanas with your breath. Your breath would guide you through it. So our focus is always on the breath, not only because it lets you lose fat, it also helps you take out the toxins from your body so that you have a more pure system that can help you grow. Right? That is part of the equation. The major ones are these blue ones. If 10 kilograms gets converted into carbon dioxide and water, there is 8.4 kilograms which is carbon dioxide and 1.6 kilogram which is water, which means it is not sweat. 84% is lost in the form of carbon dioxide. You breathe your toxins out. That's what happens. We breathe our toxins out. That is why breathing exercises are so very important. When you do all this, what happens is that you build a beautiful environment inside you, which is so serene, so positive that you are able to experience happiness and meditation very easily. And what also happens as a result is that you develop something which is called the self-image. How many of you here have felt that when you follow a certain regime and when you are able to see results, you see that you feel good, you feel more, you develop that self-respect, and you also see that your self-image is it's going big. That's the reason why when you do these practices, you will start feeling better and you would want to get more and more and more of it. How many of you here want more of this? What you're seeing here. Dil mange more? DMM, type in the chat box, DMM, dil mange more. All right. Good. Very good. That's good. I want all of you to do that. 260 of you. Come on. Dil mange more. Yes. Excellent. Now, when you see that all the elements, when they start working for you, you will see that your digestive fire gets activated and you would be able to have a beautiful digestive system. When these habits become innate, or when they are installed inside you, when they get installed inside you, then it becomes beautiful outside as well. But remember that knowledge is nothing without action. If you take action, how many of you commit to taking action? Type commit in the chat box if you commit to taking action, because you can get all the knowledge in the world. It has been there all around. But the action has not come in a streamlined fashion. When it comes in a streamlined fashion, which is exactly how your system wants it, that is when it works. So do not think, just do. Now, open page number 29 and write this down. If it has become clear to you, that habits are the ones that can save you, write it. Okay. Kartika, there are a lot more other factors that would also be there, right? So I'll delve into that tomorrow. Right? Habits, if you're very clear that is your lifeboat. Now, tell me, which one would you choose? Gut habits or your current life? Which one would you choose? The gut habits or your current life? Brilliant. Now, tell me, what is the minimum time that it will take to inculcate a habit? What is the minimum time? On page number 31, write down what is the minimum time that you think will take to inculcate a habit. It said in a book called the Psycho-Cybernetics that it takes a minimum of 21 days for your body to feel easy about a particular habit. Right? It takes about 21 days for your body to feel easy that, yes, I can do this. That feeling has to come in. It takes about 21 days. And if you follow gut habits for a period of 21 days diligently, you will be able to see that it becomes a natural process for you, right? Psycho-Cybernetics. It doesn't explain about gut habits, but it explains about habits in general. All right. Now, it takes about 21 days. Now, your task for tomorrow is going to be Prakriti. There would be a tool that will come in the WhatsApp group. You have to click on that and answer a few questions. It will give you an output at the end. right? It will give you an output at the end. Yes, I'll tell you, Raghav. It will give you an output at the end, and just go with your best guess. When you are selecting options, think what is the best that you can relate with. Even if you feel that no, this is not relevant, think about what at least has got a little similarity to what you feel. Go with your best guess and you'll get an answer at the end, right? Do not use your brain a lot. Don't think a lot. Just see what is that you're able to align with. Just finish that. So it will come in the WhatsApp group, my friend. Okay. Megha, that's a very vast topic. I'm going to give you a shopping list based on your body type tomorrow. Okay. Shopping list based on your body type tomorrow. Okay. All right. Now comes to the life points breath work. Triphala can be had in any season. And Triphala, you saw that your gut was inflamed. By starting Triphala, that inflammation would come down. Your tox score would come down. That is one way in which you can do that, but you need multiple ways if you have to do it. How many of you want to do your ending the inflammation in your gut in 1 year? And how many of you want to do it in 1 month? Which one would you choose? 1 year or 1 month? Brilliant. Superb. Great. Now, life points breath work. Let's go to life points. Good. That's the thing to do, ASAP. As skilled as possible, as soon as possible. You have to be as skilled as possible, as soon as possible. Because yaha kal kya ho kisne jana. No, that's how the world is, right? So it's important to do as soon as possible. Let's go into the life points breath work. So this is an exercise to put you in the most relaxed state in under 2 minutes. So what you're going to do is, I'll be guiding you in the first part of it. And then you'll be doing it on your own for about 30 to 40 seconds. And then I'll bring you back. Okay. I'll be guiding you for the first part of it. Then you would continue for the next 30 to 40 seconds where you'll not hear my instructions. And then I'll bring you back. What you're going to do is you're going to focus on 2 points in your breath. So the point number one is you inhale, and in between your inhalation and exhalation, you're going to inhale and then exhale. In between your inhalation and exhalation, there's a point where there is no inhalation or exhalation. It's a pause, right? There is a pause. You don't inhale or exhale. There's a pause in between these two. You again exhale, and then you reach the bottom point where you're just about to inhale. And in between that exhalation and inhalation, there is a gap. There's a pause where there is no inhalation or exhalation. You're not inhaling or exhaling. So these 2 points, point number 1 is wherein you breathe in, and just before exhalation, there is a point. You breathe out, just before inhalation, there is a point. These 2 points are very important points in your life. Point number 1. So we teach these super effective, super powerful concepts in much more depth. In much more depth. You don't have to pause. The pause will happen automatically, and then you continue. Just observe the pause. You don't have to pause. I'll guide you through it. So what happens is this point number 1, that is below, is something that exists just before your birth. Just before you're born, that point exists. You're just about to take that first breath, right? That's point number 1. Point number 2 is wherein you have finished your entire life, and just before you transcend into the next level, there is that pause. So these 2 points represent your life. That's why it is called life points breathwork. When you focus on these 2 points, it'll give you brilliant insights that did not exist before. And you'll be in your most relaxed state in under 2 minutes. Ready for it? Type ready in the chat box if you're ready for it. Ready in the chat box. All right. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to stop the chat box for now. Sit into a comfortable position with your hands comfortably placed either on your lap or into a cusp, into a cup, a chalice. All right. So the back straight, your spine straight, chin parallel to the floor, your shoulders are comfortably relaxed, and your eyes are closed. And you would concentrate on the 2 points in your breath. I would momentarily pause. Do not concentrate or focus, just become aware of these 2 points. When you become aware, you are relaxed. Awareness leads to relaxation. Concentrate on your breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Continue breathing. Oh. Slowly, very slowly, open your eyes and let me know how you felt. If it is so easy for us to relax, all we need is 2 minutes. Right? All we need is 2 minutes. Brilliant. Good. Now, what I'll do is I'll just take in some of the questions that have come up in the form. Now, remember that I'll be answering most of the questions that have come here, which is relevant to the Gut Reset workshop that we are going through right now. And tomorrow, you can post your questions in the chat box during the session. Can Triphala powder be given to a 3-year-old child? Yes, with good quality honey. It is also available on the store that I shared with you yesterday. How can scrubbing improve our digestion? Scrubbing improves. You can watch. How does it improve? I think we can forget that. It improves. That's what we focus on. It helps. Can we add Triphala tablet? So I would recommend powder any day. If you already have tablet, you can keep it there. Use powder. Start with powder. That is what I would recommend. Horseshoe kidney with so you can take detox tea, Swaroop, reduce the concentration of the ingredients to half. Divya, you have acid reflux and constipation. Start with what we taught you yesterday. Start with that, because that will help you heal your gut. Your gut is inflamed. That is why the acidity is so high. So it asks you to definitely go ahead and reduce that inflammation, which is very, very important. So see, Namrata, you're feeling hot flushes in your body because of homeopathic treatment for IBS and anxiety. So what I would recommend you to do is, see, you're taking all these things, cumin, coriander, fennel, all these are definitely a part of your daily diet also. All you're doing here is that you're having it in the form of tea. Now, what I understand is that if we are generally on homeopathic medicines, we are asked not to take coffee, tea. What you might be feeling is that tea doesn't go well with homeopathy. This is not tea. This is a very simple decoction that you're taking, Divya. Sorry, Namrata. So go ahead and take the tea with the conviction that it's not going to affect you anyway. It's not tea. It's just a decoction, right? Prepare a decoction. Prepare a cumin, coriander, and fennel decoction, not the detox tea. Just change that. I think that will help you a lot. Do we need to take detox tea before or after? There's no relationship with food. You can take whenever you want. Can give it to your children also. Yes. Can we take Triphala with English medicine? Why not? Absolutely. You have ulcerative colitis, Vaibhav, and you want to gain. You're unable to gain weight. So the problem that you need to focus on is not gaining weight. The problem that you need to focus on is getting your ulcerative colitis in absolute control. If it is in control, heal it completely, and then you will see that your weight gain happens. We've had people who have gained about 6 kilos in 2 months because they were focusing on the right things. They had similar problems that got healed. They were able to improve their weight. I was diagnosed with ulcerative. Okay. Triphala to be taken in warm or room temperature water. Triphala to be taken in warm water. So how to breathe consciously, I think I explained that today. The GERD problem that you have will improve with the gut reset system that I explained yesterday. You have psoriasis, I would again ask you, Anis, I would ask you to continue the gut reset system that I taught you yesterday. My body generates more heat, having Triphala increases. So Ravichandran have just 3 pinches. Only 3 pinches of Triphala. It has got, and I would ask you to get the Triphala from a good source. If you would consider taking it from our store, I would recommend that, because 30% of whatever we get usually is discarded because it does not meet our standards for raw material. So we make sure that it is so pure what you get that will help you the very first time you use it. Triphala, that's a discussion for another time. How can we start Triphala and scrub in 5 days? Well, you start, you can use any scrub, right? It will be available in the nearby place. Who's that? Shrikant. For now, get it from somewhere. If you want to start it right now, get it from somewhere. These are some things that you will practice even more also, Shrikant. It doesn't end here. Please send all detox teas and things that we're supposed to. And his son is not in the spectrum. Okay. Sri Valli, please reach out to our team so that they are able to help you. Okay. Please reach out to our team so that they are able to help you. I've been going through gut issues for 40 plus years, currently going through acid reflux. Start the gut reset system. Now, what would have happened is, because of the fact that you've gone through a lot of difficult times, Nirmal Kumar, it might be difficult for you to actually believe in what's going on around you. For once, believe and continue this. Very important. We'll be there on the way. We can give you all the opportunities to continue this with us. Right? So I'd like to know here, many of you here, how many of you would love to, make these habits innate in you by practicing with us? Raise your hands if that's you. Right? You want to make this innate in you. It becomes a part of you, not only for you, but for your family as well going forward. Brilliant. That's really good. I'm taking Triphala for the last 12 years, almost regularly, leave sometimes in between. Okay, no problem. Make it a daily habit, Smriti. That's really good. If you're able to make that a daily habit, it tremendously helps. Continue it. Continue that, Smriti. Okay. So Nishikesh, please reach out to our team for a consultation. That will be the best thing for you. There are multiple things that are involved. Nityas. Okay, I'm unable to understand. Nitya. Past 6 months, I have frequent stomach pain, gas release with bad smell. It's symptoms of ulcer. Not necessarily. It can also be a functional problem, Nitya. So what I would recommend you to do is continue what I explained here, the 5E gut reset system that you learned yesterday. Please continue that. Okay. Somebody has said here that in 1919, that is like 104 years ago, meniscus tear was there in my right knee. Okay. I think it's 2019, if I'm not wrong. I really hope it is 2019. Otherwise, I would love to come meet you. Okay. I hope it's 2019, which was treated by conservative method. Okay. Yeah. One complication of a meniscal tear later on in life is osteoarthritis. How to overcome the problem? We really need to understand this in more detail, Ravindra. We'll need to check your X-ray and all that. So it'll take some more time. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a few more. Please guide on Amvata and gastritis. I think we have already explained that the gut reset system works with all this. Fruits, that's a discussion that we'll have tomorrow. Anything else? Let me just check. Sugandhi Hari, somebody asked me for a diet chart. Okay, so a diet chart is something that is given when you want to stay hooked to something for the rest of your life. But if you want freedom, change the idea of having food from something that is coming from a chart to something that you can experience and learn from. When you learn from that, that is what our mission is, to make you free, to make you independent. We don't want to tie you down. We can very well do that. The moment we put out that we have got diet charts, I'm sure that there are thousands of people who are ready to come in and, just to give them diet charts, they might pay us. No, we don't want that. We want you to become independent when it comes to, when you think about, we don't like giving out diet charts because they don't work. Unless and until you understand how that works, it's not, this is the easy way out. It's the pill method. You don't want the pill method, right? This is what led us to getting addicted to pills. It was the easy way out. Don't fall for it. Learn, make it a habit, make it an experience. Then you will grow. All right. So I think this brings us to the end of Amla. So the ratio of Triphala is 1:1:1. Anybody can take Triphala, by the way. Okay, anybody can take Triphala. I'm just noting it here. The rest of the questions, there are a few more that just came in. I'll be answering that tomorrow. Whoever posted your questions just now, ask tomorrow it in the chat box. I'll be answering it tomorrow. Righto. So where's that? Once again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you here for being a part of this. You've been amazing participants. Thank you for being here. And it was an absolute blissful session today. And I'll see you tomorrow for the diet day. Take care. Have a very good night. Love you all. Bye-bye.